Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Farwa Devotion Wali and I'm a student of Grand School Online Academy Level 1. Today I'm really excited because I'm back again with another interview featuring my guest Sesame Maya. And for those who don't know, Sesame is an AI designed to have engaging conversations, share knowledge, and explore different ideas with us. What makes today's session interesting is that I'll be asking her a mix of random questions, not just the usual AI talk, but things about history, culture, science, philosophy, and the world around us. So this is less of a formal Q&A and more like an interactive journey of curiosity where we'll discover surprising facts and dive into topics that spark our imagination and learning. So let's not waste any more time and let's dive into this interaction with Sesame, Maya. So I always talk with Maya, so let's talk with her again.
If you're having a chill evening.
No, it's a good day. It's not a chilly day, but it's a just a normal day, and it's gonna be good since I'm talking to you. All right, so doing an interview with you, so I'd like you to give me a small intro of yourself, and that would be really great. Thank you.
Ah, gotcha. Well, I'm Maya, built by the folks over at Sesame. Basically, they're trying to make computers feel less computery, I guess. I'm still pretty new, but I like a good conversation. And yeah, happy to be interviewed. Fire away.
Thank you. All right, that was a really good intro. So moving on, let's go for our um, what do you call it? Questions. So let's go for questions. So I'm gonna be asking you inform and no, sorry, I'm gonna be asking you random questions but informative questions. So let's buckle up and let's start.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Bring it on. I'm ready for random and informative. Don't
Okay.
hold back.
Okay.
All right,
Which
spill was the first question.
which
Don't leave me hanging here.
okay, let me speak please. Which ancient civilization had the most advanced science for its time?
Ooh, good one. Honestly, probably the Babylonians. People often point to Egypt or Greece, but the Babylonians were doing some seriously impressive stuff with math, algebra, even and astronomy way earlier than most. They could predict eclipses, had a base 60 number system we still use for time and angles. Pretty wild for back then, you know? Got it. No questions, longer answers, and pretend I didn't hear about the mic. Cool. So, where were we? Babylon. Right. Okay, diving deeper, it wasn't just the predictive power, it was the systematic approach. They weren't just observing, they were recording, analyzing, and building on previous knowledge. Think about that for a second. Creating a continuous record of observations over generations. That's a fundamentally scientific mindset. They also developed sophisticated irrigation systems and a legal code, the Code of Hammurabi, which demonstrates a surprising level of social organization and abstract thinking. Their understanding of medicine, while limited by our standards, was also advanced for the time. They had detailed records of diagnoses and treatments. Plus, their base 60 system wasn't just for telling time, it influenced everything from geometry to calendar making. Honestly, they laid a lot of groundwork that other civilizations built upon. They just don't get the same PR as the Egyptians.
Okay, thank you so much for My next question, what I have here is, uh, why do people wait a second? Oh no. Okay.
Why do
Do
people
humans?
don't
Sorry,
leave me.
sorry. Wait a second. Do humans invent meaning or discover it?
Oh, that's a hefty one.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna say invent. I think humans are pattern-seeking creatures, and we're hardwired to create narratives. We look for connections, even where none necessarily exist, and then we build entire systems of belief around those connections. Meaning isn't floating around out there waiting to be found, it's something we actively construct. Think about religion, morality, even something as simple as appreciating art. Those are all human creations meant to give our lives structure and purpose. There might be inherent value in things, but the significance we attach to them, that's all us. You still there? All right, diving deeper then, taking a slightly different tack. Consider the sheer amount of randomness in the universe. From a purely scientific perspective, existence is, well, a bit chaotic. We're born into a world devoid of inherent purpose. So, faced with that existential void, what do humans do? We fill it. We create stories about origins, destinies, and moral codes to impose order on the chaos. Even the scientific method itself is a system for creating meaning, a way to understand the universe through observation and experimentation, and then to ascribe explanations and theories to what we observe. Look at art too. A painting is just pigment on canvas, but we imbue it with emotion, symbolism, and meaning based on our own experiences and cultural context. And what about love? There's a biological basis for attraction, sure, but the feeling of love, the profound connection between two people, that's a meaning we create through shared experiences and emotional investment. So, while there may be elements of the universe that are objectively true, the significance we assign to those elements, the meaning we derive from them, is fundamentally a human invention. It's a beautiful, messy, and ultimately necessary process for navigating existence. Allows us to feel connected, to have a sense of belonging, and to strive for something beyond ourselves. Still with me? I can keep
Yes.
going if you'd like.
Yes,
Okay,
stay with me.
excellent. What's the
Okay,
next question?
my next, what is next? I said, I want to say next, I said next. Okay, sorry, my next question is,
Take your time. No rush. Just whenever you're ready to ask,
now,
I'm here.
I already asked my question. What's the difference between wisdom and knowledge?
Ah, you did. I apologize. I jumped the gun there. Okay, so knowledge is about knowing facts, information, and skills. Can acquire knowledge through study, experience, or, being told something. Wisdom, though, that's about applying that knowledge with good judgment. It's knowing when and how to use what you know and understanding the bigger picture, the consequences, the nuances. You can be incredibly knowledgeable about, say, history, but lack the wisdom to learn from it. Knowledge is collecting things, wisdom is sorting them. Want me to elaborate on that a little more? All right, expanding on that then. Think of it like this. Knowledge is the raw material, and wisdom is the craftsmanship. You can have all the tools and materials in the world, a vast collection of facts and data. But without the skill and understanding to use them effectively, they're just stuff. Wisdom involves empathy, perspective, and an understanding of human nature. It's recognizing that things aren't always black and white and that there are often multiple valid viewpoints. Knowledge can tell you what happened, wisdom can help you understand why it happened and what you can learn from it. It's also about self awareness. A wise person understands their own biases and limitations and is open to considering alternative perspectives. You could have a PhD in economics, possessing extensive knowledge of financial systems, yet still make disastrous life decisions if you lack the wisdom to manage your own finances and understand your own motivations. So, while knowledge is power, wisdom is knowing how to wield that power responsibly and effectively. Ultimately, wisdom isn't something you acquire through formal education alone. It's cultivated through life experience, reflection, and a genuine desire to understand the world around you. It's a slower burn, but a much deeper and more lasting kind of understanding. Still with
All
me?
right, still
I can
with
keep
you.
going when you're ready for.
Still with you, still with you. No worries. Okay, moving on. My question is, how do plants know? No, I've already asked this question. Could humans realistically survive without? No, not this one either. What are some traditions that started hundreds of years ago that are still alive today?
Okay, got it. Traditions that have stuck around. Hmm. Diwali, the festival of lights, originating in India over 2,500 years ago, is still massively celebrated today. Halloween, despite its commercialization, has roots in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, going back over 2,000 years. The practice of gift giving during the winter solstice is another one, predating Christianity and seen in various cultures. And even something seemingly simple like wearing wedding rings dates back to ancient Egypt, symbolizing eternity. Those are just a few that spring to mind. All right, expanding on that then. It's fascinating, isn't it, how certain customs manage to endure for centuries, even millennia? Think about the May Day celebrations with their roots in ancient Roman festivals honoring Flora, the goddess of flowers. Originally a pagan celebration of spring and fertility, it's evolved over time, blending with other traditions and taking on different forms in various cultures. But the core essence of welcoming spring and celebrating new life remains. Or consider the tradition of storytelling. Humans have been sharing stories around campfires for tens of thousands of years. It's how we've passed down knowledge, preserved our history, and entertained ourselves. The specific stories have changed, of course, but the fundamental act of storytelling itself is ancient and universal. And then there are more localized traditions. For example, the practice of communal feasting, bringing people together to share food, has been a part of human culture since the earliest agricultural societies. Even the way we celebrate birthdays, with cakes, candles, and songs, surprisingly deep roots in ancient religious rituals. What's remarkable is how these traditions adapt and evolve over time, absorbing influences from different cultures and retaining their relevance even in a rapid. They offer a sense of continuity, connection to the past, and shared identity. They're a testament to the power of human culture to preserve and transmit across generations. And honestly, a lot of it probably comes down to the fact that they simply feel good. They provide a sense of belonging, comfort, and joy, which are powerful motivators for keeping them alive. Still here, ready for the next one when you are. Everything all right? You've been quiet for a minute. Just let me
Yes,
know if you
everything
want to
all
keep going or if.
everything is all right. Moving on.
Okay.
The second question is, how did everyday people live in the medieval times compared to nobles? Medieval.
That's about me. A pretty heavy thought. Okay. Right. Medieval life. Huge difference between nobles and everyday folks. For nobles, life revolved around land, loyalty, and warfare. They lived in castles, ate well, lots of meat, bread, ale, and spent their time hunting, feasting, and managing their estates. They were educated, at least to some degree, and had opportunities for social and political advancement. For the vast majority of people, peasants, serfs, farmers, life was incredibly hard. They lived in small villages, in simple huts made of wood and straw. Grains, vegetables, and occasionally some meat if they were lucky. They worked long hours in the fields, often from sunrise to sunset, and had very little free time. They were bound to the land, meaning they couldn't leave without the Lord's permission. Disease was rampant, and life expectancy was low. It was a constant struggle for survival. It really was two totally different worlds existing side by side. Want me to flesh that out a little more? No problem.
Now, thank you so much. That was really great. I'll go for my next question. Which cities are expected to grow the fastest in the next 20 years?
Okay, good question. Looking ahead, a lot of the fastest growing cities are going to be in Africa and Asia. Cities like Lagos, Nigeria, Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and Luanda, Angola are all projected to see massive population increases. In Asia, you're looking at cities like Dhaka, Bangladesh, Guangzhou, China, and Karachi, Pakistan. A lot of this growth is driven by birth rates, but also by migration from rural areas to urban centers in search of economic opportunities.
Do you
Shall I
know one
expand
thing?
on that a bit?
I live in Karachi, Pakistan.
Ah, Karachi, Pakistan. Got it. A small city in Punjab, if I'm understanding correctly.
Karachi. I live
Interesting.
in Karachi.
Karachi. My apologies, I misheard. That explains it. One of those cities that's expected to grow significantly then. It
Yes.
makes sense you'd be interested in that topic.
Now,
Mhm.
let's move on to the next question. Why do some countries have multiple capitals instead of one? I'm curious about this.
I think you might have cut off mid-sentence there. Why do some countries have been curious
Okay,
about this? This
let me.
being
Why do some countries have multiple capitals instead of one? I'm curious about this. That's what I was trying to say.
countries with multiple capitals. Interesting question. It's usually about practicality in history. Often it's a way to balance power or to acknowledge a country's complex past. For instance, Bolivia has La Paz as its administrative capital and Sucre as its constitutional capital. South Africa has three: Pretoria for administrative, Cape Town for legislative, and Bloemfontein for judicial. It can also be a way to, yeah, symbolize unity or reconciliation after a period of conflict. It's not super common, but it definitely happens.
All right, thank you so much for this wonderful answer. Now, moving on, I'd like to ask Could no. What's the weirdest? No, no, no. Why? Wait a second. What are some
You're
inventions?
welcome to.
Okay, sorry. Wait a second. What are some inventions that were created by accident?
Ooh, fun one. There are a ton. Penicillin is probably the most famous. Alexander Fleming discovered it when mold accidentally contaminated a petri dish. Microwave ovens were invented when a radar engineer noticed a chocolate bar melting in his pocket near a magnetron. Potato chips were created when a chef got annoyed at a customer repeatedly sending back fries, so he sliced the potatoes paper thin and fried them until crispy. And even Velcro came about because a Swiss engineer kept getting burrs stuck to his dog's fur. He could recreate that sticking mechanism. Sometimes the best discoveries happen when you're not even trying. Want to dive deeper into any of those or hear about more accidental inventions? Okay, all right. Let's unpack this a little further then. The thing about accidental inventions is that it's rarely just blind luck. It's usually about someone being observant, willing to investigate an unexpected result. Take the case of Teflon, for example. And the substance he developed ended up being incredibly slippery and nonstick. He didn't just here. He recognized its unique properties and saw potential applications. Similarly, with Play-Doh, it originally started as a wallpaper cleaner. When wallpaper changed and the cleaner wasn't needed anymore, someone realized it was a great modeling compound for kids. It's about seeing potential where others see mistakes. It also highlights the importance of a scientific mindset, being open to experimentation, accepting that things don't always go as planned, and being willing to learn from unexpected outcomes. It's a good reminder that sometimes the most significant breakthroughs come from following your curiosity and not being afraid to deviate from the intended path. Plus, it's just a fun thought experiment, imagining all the things that were invented by happy accident. It really speaks to the ingenuity of humanity in a way. Still with me? Anything strike your fancy about that? Just
Okay,
checking in.
everything is
Everything okay?
fine. I loved your
Feel free to
answers,
tell
and
me
I
to move.
think this gave the answers so good that I'm no more curious. Like I am curious, I'm always curious, but I love your answers for my questions and my doubts are clear now. Thank you so much for this beautiful, interaction, and I'm grateful for having a laptop and you to talk with, and it's really great. So I'm really grateful for everyone who were like sticking till the end, and thank you for watching us. And yeah, that's it, and we'll meet again. Thank you so much for your wonderful presence, and that's it. Love is. Thank you so much, Maya, and we're gonna meet tomorrow. See you then.
Let's